All right, it's Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, and we are live. Welcome, adventurers. I'm your guide, Sean McZoo, and this is the Reptile Show Reporter. As usual, Phil Strand, the headmaster of the Chameleon Academy, is my co-host. Tonight, we need to determine the perfect exotic pet.
Oh yeah, that'll be easy.
This will be a what do you call it? Knockdown, drag out kind of thing. Luckily, we don't have so many people that we allow them to get on here and talk, but that'll be it. So, all right. So I see Eliza Ann already here, and Chameleon Academy is actually answering her. So
that's right.
I'll start the video. All right, let's take that down so we can get back here. All right, so I see Eliza Ann is here. Mikey Ben is here. All right, let's get there. Let's see, I re-added these things at some point. Let's see what the order is. Eliza, okay, we'll do Eliza alone.
Hey.
There she is. There it shows up for me finally. And then Mikey Ben, let's see. I think we should do Mikey and the Canadians, huh? What do you think? Mikey and the Canadians. There we go. He gave this picture to me to use, so
yeah,
fair game. So there we go. All right, hi both of you, and let's see what else we can talk about so far today. We've gone to the chat. Bill, any announcements?
Yeah, we can check the Brevicorn eggs.
All right, let's check them Brevicorn eggs.
All right, everybody.
My Brevicorn, I just realized, is 16 months, my female, that I hatched. And so and I got a male. So, what would have happened there? So we'll have to see.
Well, yeah. And woof. I mean, the eggs, they look good. They just aren't hatching yet.
All right. So that's good. All right. So any other announcements, Bill?
Nothing really.
What about International Chameleon Day tomorrow, Bill? What is this about?
That snuck up on me, and I haven't. Yes, there is now an International Chameleon Day done by an organization in Madagascar, and it sounds like something that I'll probably be prepared for next year.
All right. So if you want to hear more about it, go to wildlifemadagascar.org, and their website will tell you everything about it. So there we go. All right.
Wait. I gotta. Perhaps I should speak about Montium and Quadricornis.
All right, that's good. We'll let you speak about it. I'll put the International Chameleon Day.
Okay, you finish talking about Chameleon Day, and then I'll. Eliza Ann is asking about this.
All right, there's the story, the picture I got off of one of the websites, the IUCNSS Chameleon Specialist Group. I don't even know what that stands for, but it probably stands for something I know, but we'll have to worry about it later. All right, so Montium and Quadricornis. Bill, am I going to get a whole bunch more of them? Are they coming to a store near me?
It is possible, but not exactly the way it's meant out to be. Okay, so here's the situation, everybody. CITES had a thing where they say Cameroon, you can't ship out Quadricornis, Montium, Pfefferi. Okay. Oh, hi, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie Payne's here. So just so we know. All right.
And Cameroon said, okay, fine, we agree. Export quota is 0 for those species. And so CITES says, all right, fine, we're going to leave it up to you. You obviously are taking care of it. This is my interpretation that CITES, nobody likes to be told what to do with their own country. And so CITES is trying not to tell them what to do. And if they look like they're taking care of it, CITES is going to say, okay, we are going to remove our restriction because you're already taking care of it. So even though CITES is saying, okay, we're going to pull back on our restriction, they're doing that because Cameroon has its own restriction against Quadricornis, Montium, and Pfefferi coming out. So that news story doesn't mean that those 3 species are coming out. Now, there are 3 species that are allowed out: Trioceras cristatus, Trioceras serratus, and Rampholium spectrum. And these have been allowed out all along. The reason why we don't see them coming in is because those 3 species are not very well known in the chameleon community. And so if somebody is going to invest a lot of money, because it's costly to bring chameleons over and it's costly to keep them, and you have to sell them, and anybody bringing them over knows those will go out slowly. Yes, we have a core group of cristatus people that would love to get their cristatus, but are there enough cristatus people to make it worth the big number that they have to bring in to make it worthwhile? And then what about serratus? Does anybody know what serratus is? I do. It's a wonderful chameleon, very cool chameleon, little thing, but very colorful. But who else knows that? Rampholium spectrum. How many of those are you going to sell to make it worth the big shipment? So the reason why we haven't had a shipment for that long is because the numbers didn't work out. If they could bring in quadricornis, everybody loves quadricornis. That's a no-brainer. Bring it in and bring in all the other stuff too. That's fine. We'll make our money by selling the quadricornis, and whatever else sells, bonus. So somebody just decided, yeah, okay, I'm going to take the plunge and I'm going to invest in this shipment. And so it's totally legal. There's nothing about this that is that we need to say, okay, what actually happened? Totally legal. Anybody who is interested in cristatus, now is the time. Jump on this. Grab cristatus. Grab a couple of extra, because it's unknown. Is this going to come in again? I mean, if this guy sells out and makes a bunch of money, yeah, they're coming in again. But if it takes him 6 weeks to get through all of it, and he has to discount it to make sure they move, they're not going to come in again. So, cristatus people, jump on this and grab some serratus too. They're really cool. Spectrum too. But now's the time to jump on it, because it may not happen again, not because of illegality, but because of business.
All right, Bill, what's the number? 100?
What number is most important? It really depends on the value of the species, because you have like $1,000. I'm just going to do round numbers. $1,000 for shipping, $1,000 for paperwork, $1,000 for broker. So there you've got $3,000 that you have to bring in enough animals to cover that and give you a profit. Obviously, it's a lot easier to do that with parsoni than it is little Rampholium spectrum, which, I don't know, you sell them for $75 and you buy them for $35. So that's a lot of little Rampholium spectrum to make up for $3,000 of cost. And then, of course, you have all the food and a week of sleep, or 3 days of sleepless nights and stuff. So those are just very, very general numbers. So, all right. I'm just looking in the chat to see if there's any other questions.
So, Bill,
specimens per species. Nate, it can be anything. Like for Parsons, it could be 20, 10, 20. For Rampholium spectrum, our little things. If it was allowed, they could be 100. Who has them? Who is it? I don't. Somebody find it and put the link in the chat,
please. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, any more announcements, Bill?
That's not working really hard at getting the parasite course in. I'm going to make it asynchronous. I'm greatly expanding it. And so just really working hard on getting that out the door. This is a project that needs to come to an end soon.
All right. On my perspective, the micro squirrel count is still 5 babies. We haven't gotten rid of any of them yet. They're just too cute to get rid of, but we're going to have to at some point, because we're going to run out of room. The gecko, she took her 8 geckos home with her. So I have 5. I'm down to 5. I had 13 that I was caring for. Now I'm down to 5. So there's a hole in my family room. I'm gonna probably take the pectinatus and the frilled dragon over to that room so that it doesn't look like such a big hole, because I don't need any more work to do, because these holes, they all get filled up. That's just the way things are. Nature hates a vacuum, and we'll have to do that. So anyways, wait a minute.
It's really interesting vacuum.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yay!
There we go. I missed that one. You guys are all saying hi to her. There we are. There, the puppies.
Yay!
All right. We do this because we don't have anybody else on the show tonight. So,
you know what's a real vacuum? Is in Madagascar, there's no owl that eats chameleons. What the heck is up with that?
Why would you want an owl to eat your chameleons, Bill?
I don't want them to, but when you go into Madagascar,
I was outside yesterday on the back porch, and I had my chameleons in my hand, and I was walking in the sunshine, and I didn't want a bird to come eat my owl, because there's my chameleon.
You said
there's
nature abhors a vacuum.
There's a hoot owl as well that's gonna come and eat them, and I didn't want that to happen. So, anyways, okay.
Rashad, you said nature abhors a vacuum, but there's a vacuum in Madagascar of an owl that eats chameleons. There isn't one, because you look at, the chameleons are just sitting out there on the branches. Some of them are definitely hidden, but there's a number of them that are just way out there on branches because that's safe for them. So, snakes trying to get out on that branch, it's really hard to get way out where that chameleon is. But that would make them completely vulnerable to an owl that was specialized in getting chameleons off of branches, and there isn't one.
That's good, Bill.
Well, yes, that's good, but I'm just pointing out that there is an open space. Okay. There's a blank space, baby.
Okay, all right. So you want a pet owl is what you're trying to say?
No, I don't want an owl. They're really cute, though. I love owls, but no, I don't want one, and I don't want one to go to Madagascar and eat chameleons.
I don't like a hoot owl in the middle of the night, though, Bill. It keeps me awake. But okay.
You know what? This is spiraling way off.
Who is this mossy incarnation, Bill? Do we know this
I don't know who mossy incarnation is. I recognize the screen name.
Okay, we don't know who it is. So, okay, that's anonymous there, or someone's name is actually mossy incarnation. We don't know.
Yeah, well now Nate's getting. Oh, this is Annette. Oh, we know Annette. Hello, Annette.
All right, Annette. There we are. We don't have
yes,
a picture
now we
of
know.
Annette, do we, though? Because it would be the very top. So I don't have an Annette. Elijah's the first. Chris is actually the first one that we have. So we need a. Have you been here before?
Yes, Annette's been here before.
Then we need a picture, Annette. Send it to Sean at reptileshowreporter.com or whatever. Any of my outlets that you can go to and send them that way. All right, but I forgot all of my announcements, Bill. The gecko count is down to 5, I said. Podcast 21, Josh Halter. Don't miss it. It's still going to be up, the bio dude. And the next one, less than a week from now, will be Clint from Clint's Reptile Room. He will be there. He tells everything. He tells his whole story. There's all kinds of good stuff on that. And I'm just finishing editing it, and I'll release it on Tuesday. So it's less than a week away. And I've convinced Anne to come back and probably do podcast 23. She's gone to vet school for a year. So we got her prior. She was the first actual person that we had. We did a podcast together, Bill. This number 2. And that was Anne Panette. And now she took her geckos, and now she's going to come back and do a podcast again after a year of vet school. So that'll be really cool to listen to, see what's changed and see how things are and see how things are going. So that's a real exciting thing that's going to be happening soon. And I have no other announcements. What?
Nate's busting my chops.
Busting your chops? I can't. Let's see.
Yeah, he's accusing me of manifesting chameleon killing owls.
I thought you were, Bill.
I am an innocent man.
I accused you it right here on the line.
No, I didn't say it
You
should
said nature.
happen.
I said nature abhors a vacuum, and you said there's no owl in Madagascar. I mean, how does that even come up? I mean,
It's a
there's
vacuum.
no elephants in Madagascar either, Bill. Do we need elephants there to knock down all the trees, knock all the chameleons out of the trees?
Listen, this is the kind of stuff that weighs on me.
In Madagascar, is there a cat or something like that? I don't know. It's an island, so it'd be hard to get an elephant there, I guess. But they're big boats.
I didn't see cats there. Interesting.
All right. Wow, we haven't even got to starting talking about the pets and what have you.
I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, how dare wait, that's where there's I got the wrong one because it changed. The precious chameleons.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. I don't know, Bill. I'm just like, I'm seeing these owls. Now I'm not going to go outside again with the chameleon on my hand. I was really freaked out. I couldn't stop because the sunshine was so good. It was the first day it was 75 or more. And I was like, I had to take this chameleon actually was on the cage door when I opened it. And I had to move it back to get it back in the cage before I closed it. I'm like, I can't help myself. It walked over onto my hand. And I'm like, I can't help myself. I got to walk outside, but I got to hold on tight and watch them from above.
Yeah, when you got those little guys, you got to be careful because
normally that's not how I'm going to ever take a chameleon out. The way to normally take a chameleon out is to take out in a big cage or on a branch to a big cage that I'm going to put there and leave it there for a day or so and keep it out for the rest of the summer.
You need to get a lot of those planter box cages.
I wonder where I could get those. There's got to be some kind of do-it-yourself guy to build some of those things. I don't know. I don't know who I could figure that out with. Where is he tonight? He's not here tonight either. So he was too tired from this morning, I guess. That was a cool show this morning, I think. But was this morning? Yeah, it was this morning.
Yeah, it was. Well, yes.
I watched it. I didn't watch it live, but I did watch it.
It feels like a day ago, believe me.
Yeah, it feels like 10 days ago, but this morning has been so long ago. All the things that happened today. And Two Turtle Tom's picking up his mother-in-law from the airport, so he's less than a half a mile from the house right here, and he's not going to be on the show because he's got his mother-in-law in the car. So,
well, I bet she wants to come
on. For him or not. All right. Yes, I've already actually half of my cages are made on wheels so I could take them outside, but I made them so big and heavy that they're really awkward to take out. Bill told me that I couldn't do a outside and inside cage together and have it the same one and make all the adaptions and everything like that. And I said, no, I can do it, Bill. And I did it, and it didn't work. I mean, it works. You can take them outside. There's big wheels on the bottom. You can roll them out, but they weigh so much, and they're attached to lights. They're under lights, but they're attached to all the misting and the fogging. It's just too much trouble to take them outside.
All right, fine. It's a victory. Not a real victory, but a victory nonetheless.
All right. All right. Me and Tom. I would have invited him to live, but I didn't think he'd decide to go. So okay. All right. So let's see. We got all the announcements. We got all the other stuff. What is the perfect pet, Bill? How do you decide?
Well, it's gonna be the perfect pet is what really speaks to you and inspires you. And
no, wait a minute. You're actually creating owls out of the Netherlands, and you're having pets speak to you now.
Wait, you know what? There is something called context, and we've lost it here.
I didn't get my nap today, Bill.
You're going to be surly all day? Is that it?
Surly all day. I've been surly all day already. It's all evening, Bill.
Well, yeah. A perfect pet is the one that is going to enrich your life to the point where you develop a relationship. Even if it's a fish, and it doesn't come when you call, as long as it is speaking to you and you are enriching its life, we're good. So, yeah, that's the perfect pet.
Now, all right, everyone have a great evening. It's been good. No.
Now, you're probably talking about what would be, well, let's go ahead and put a little flesh to the skeleton.
Let's put some flesh or bones around this nebulous idea. Let's talk about size of that it needs to hang out. Let's talk about the enclosure that it needs. Let's talk about how do we hydrate it? What kind of diet does it need? What kind of temperature does it have? Does it need UVB? What is its activity level? Can you hold it? Like my niece used to say, I want to hold it, hang on it. But that was about the pigeons on the some kind of bird, seagulls on the beach. But anyways, and how available is it? Can you get one? Like quadricornis, you can't get them. I've tried. I keep trying. I got a bunch of them.
Quads are horrible pets.
But what?
Quads are horrible pets.
Oh, Bill, you just like I don't know if I could talk to you anymore tonight. I'm just gonna have to ignore you the rest of the night. Just gonna let you sit there. I could actually mute you, I think. I guess it'll probably be you'll probably hang up on me, but
there are very few people that a quadricornis is a good pet, and even fewer that a cristatus is a good pet. But they are definitely one of the nicest chameleons. And so, chameleon people are just not real normal people. We just have totally different standards. And the reason why we love quadricornis and cristatus and these things that don't love us is like on the last live, people, I announced to people that I finally saw my Brookesia superciliaris. That's this little stump-tailed chameleon from Madagascar, a little brown thing. And it hatched a little while ago, and I put it in this nice bioactive, not a huge one, 2 months ago, and I haven't seen it since. Literally have not seen it since. And I just saw it a couple days ago, and I was just so happy on my live. If you're that kind of person, then yeah, okay, a Brookesia superciliaris is good for you. But there's very few people like us. There's a lot of people, but we are an incredibly small percentage of the population.
I think these are good questions. Does it have googly eyes? Does it have silly mitten hands?
Well, okay.
I think I'm hearing a chameleon. But then, can you meet its needs? That's a good question. Will it still be interesting a year from now, or does it die in a year? Some of those what were they? The veiled chameleons in the wild die every year, but can you say will it bring you joy? Okay. And Nate is asking, do they have different personalities? If that's what he's asking about quads, I've had a dozen or more quads, and they all seem to have different personalities. They were different. Now, with it wasn't like one of them was a jerk and one of them was nice, but you could definitely tell them apart. Even if you couldn't tell them apart by what they look like, but I could tell them apart because of the different looks of them. So, all right. So let's go back to what I had to say. So what's the most important thing, Bill, in choosing a pet?
The most important thing is for it to be it to provide to you what you want from it. So,
hey, wait a minute. James is here. All right, let's put him up. He's a DIY guy. We'll put him up here. I saw him this morning. He's been back and forth through every single comment I made on the show and every single format. He made a comment to me, but so I have to give him credit for that. He must have fallen asleep. He was so tired from commenting back to me today. All right, so there we are. So James is here. All right, so Bill, you were pontificating on what is the most important thing about a pet.
It's to understand what you want from the pet and match that with what they're going to give. And we have that problem with chameleons all the time because people say, when can I hold my chameleon? And I got to be the bad guy and say, you don't. So, there's a mismatch right there. They already have the chameleon, and now they're saying, when can I hold it? It's like, okay, so you want something from the chameleon that it probably can't give you. And there's a mismatch that will eventually either the person changes or the chameleon has a stressful life.
So let's talk. Yes, and a chameleon holds you, you don't hold it. It comes out, it holds you. That's what happened to me yesterday. Several of my chameleon were willing to hold me, so I took them outside and I left them out on branches briefly. just because I was so freaked out about this owl, but or other birds of prey that had come by, and they could take off a dog, a small dog if they needed. So
Oh yeah, it's the
all
crows
right.
and ravens you got to worry about,
Mhm. All right, yes, those as well.
or
So
maybe even a mockingbird. Who knows?
I'm too busy reading the the chat to keep paying attention. So all right, so I guess the first thing is, what is the commitment? How long is this thing going to live? If you're talking about getting a sulcata tortoise, they're really cool. They're awesome. They're great to feed. They're a tank. They get big, but they live more than you do, and maybe to your great grandkids. So if you're not willing to commit to having a great grandkid to have one, and you don't have a place to put it in a will that someone's going to take it over, probably not a great idea.
Are you able to hear Yvette's comments in the background?
Sort of.
Yeah, that's her listening to our show and commenting.
Oh man, I can't hear what they're saying. I just I hear noise in the background that sounds
Yeah.
like someone's talking. So, all right, Yvette, come on the show. Get up, get over here, and get on so we can talk.
Yeah, Yvette, you're invited to come say hello. She's working with Fantasticus right now.
So why? I always think her Fantasticus are cool. Are they the best pet? Let's answer this.
Oh, great. Come defend your geckos. Oh, I don't know. What's the
geckos, there, Yvette?
The thing
What's
is,
going on?
if you talk about what's the best pet, and I'd say chameleons are not a very good pet, but because of chameleons, I have grown as a person beyond what I could have ever imagined. And I have learned so much about the world. And now the the microscopic world, to the point where I'm actually making a class on it. And all of that is because of chameleons. And so they have been an incredible influence in my life and have just made me grow so much. So, they're perfect. They're maybe not a good pet, but they were perfect for me.
Okay. All right. So what makes them, so you're saying what you get from the pet and what they give you back, or what they get from you?
Yeah, there has to be a relationship there.
Mhm.
If
Okay.
we want to be an ethical pet keeper,
Mhm.
and you've got to bring a benefit to them as well.
All right. So if you can haul the duration or find someone who'll keep it after you're gone, that's one thing. Whether it gives you some type of enjoyment, and you're willing to take whatever enjoyment they give naturally without actually making it do something odd or unusual
Yeah.
or torturing it. If you can keep it enclosure that's the right size, minimal size, at least, if not better sized. And if you can hydrate it, if you can feed it, if you can tolerate what it eats, like those crested geckos and all those other New Caledonia geckos. The day geckos weren't New Caledonia, obviously, but that just ate crested gecko diet or rapashi or whatever, were really cool to feed, because I just fed them every other day. I just put something in a little container and I walked away and they were fed and watered. I mean, I misted them, but I had a misting machine, and light. They didn't need any special light or heat because my house is 74 degrees normally. So that's a good pet. But they didn't come out and hug me.
All right. Well, I'll have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have different. You've had fish before, right? You still have fish?
Yeah. Saltwater fish and freshwater and saltwater fish.
Okay. So fish, reptiles, micro squirrels, dogs, and then kids. And so that's the whole spectrum of things that can return affection. And so if we think about a pet as a return on affection, and obviously we get, that is not the scale that we measure success of a pet once you're in it. Like, I don't measure it by affection, but many people, when they get in, they measure it by affection. So what do you get from the pets that don't return affection?
I guess it depends on what you're saying, Bill. Even fish can somewhat be affectionate or can come over, up at the reptarium, they have the fish that they'll clean off your feet. They'll take all the bad scales and stuff off your feet and nip at your toes to do that and what have you. I had an eel would jump out of the tank all the time, and I called him Van Halen because he jumped. And it was a saltwater eel. He kept jumping out, and I kept having to put him back in. I don't know if that's what that does anything. Um, we're gonna have to delete this one off the whole series, aren't we, Bill? Go in tonight and delete this whole thing, because we're gonna lose everybody. But what micro squirrels? They're something that they come in. Jen carries them around a little packet and whatever, and makes them So I don't know. I don't know what exactly do you mean by affection? It just gives you a hug, or I mean, one
Well,
puppy's worth 100 snakes, as far as Clint was. He said. I think he said it in the podcast that's going to premiere Tuesday. Because it takes 100 times as much work to take care of a puppy than it does a snake. But you can get affection from a big snake and can give you a big old hug.
well, yeah, but see, this is I bring this up because this is I would say this is the number one area where those of us who work with reptiles, and me especially chameleons, this is where we get in trouble with beginners, because that's affection is what they expect out of a reptile, and that's what the reptile can't give.
This is who's late today, Bill. Even later than James Cross. So James, you're off the hook.
Let's see. Oh, wait. Chris has got a great quote down there. Comment. I thought quitting my job and starting my own business to have more time. It's actually quite the opposite. Yes.
Well, and Chris. So James was later than Steph, and Chris was later than James. So we got to have somebody else come in. Maybe Two Turtle Tom will drop in 2 minutes before the show's over, and we can call him the bad guy out. So, anyways, okay. So affection level. I don't think that's why we have a pet. What is good about a pet?
Well, I'm just saying that's what people
All my pets bring me joy, Bill. I love to go down to the basement or into the dining room, living room, wherever I have pets, which is like every room in the house apparently. And look at them. Even the bedroom, we have those little purple beetle thingies that are in a jar on one of the tables in there. And so they eat food and they're out. I like seeing them and everything. Nature, it's just like green space. It's like being outside in nature, but it's in stores for you. So I don't know if affection is the right word.
I just know that is the number one thing that people try to extract out of a chameleon that isn't there. Mm-hmm. And if you come to the reptile or invertebrate world expecting to get back wonder and joy, then you're very well matched. Mm-hmm. And
these chameleons are awesome. I look at the different ones. I'm looking at my redfoot tortoises. I've got 2 groups of them. My pectinatus, the frilled dragon doesn't give me any, affection, but it doesn't actually frill up on me. I couldn't even get it to frill today. I was trying to get it mad to show Ann what the frill looked like. And he's like, you know what? I've seen you before. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. But
I had 3 frilled dragons and I could never get them to frill at me. Mm-hmm. I could get them to play. I mean, I'd sit at you throw out something for them to eat and they'd go run and go eat it. And so we'd play. I guess it's not fetch because they wouldn't bring anything back, but they would certainly catch whatever I threw out there. And so we had a little fun. We had games, and they seemed to enjoy it as far as, well, hey, we're here and we're being fed. We are enjoying life.
Hey,
look at that!
Made it. He gets he gets Chris off the hook for being last. But he told me he wasn't going to be here, and he showed anyway. So we got to show him. Where are we at here? Let's see. It's him and his daughter here. I got here. Let's see. There we are. There we go.
Hey.
All right. Tom, we're going to have to delete this entire episode. We've said some of the dumbest things we've ever said, and we've been arguing the entire episode without any real
arguing on tangents.
Bill is creating owls at Madagascar, the chameleons. I've asked
my
if
fault.
we should have a elephant that we moved at Madagascar to knock down all the trees. I mean, it's been crazy here today.
Damn trees. You were like taking things way out of proportion.
All right, wait a minute.
So okay.
Wow, 249. That's a lot more than I paid for my wild cuts. Which
yeah, well, they've got to. They're going to have to try to make money on the Cristatus because it's going to be really hard for them to sell the Serratus.
Yes. Wow, 249. I mean, I've paid a lot more for other stuff, and I probably would, but.
Well, if anybody's interested in Cristatus, it's worth it because you may not get another chance.
Yeah.
And Two Turtle Tom, that is my wife Yvette laughing in the background.
Wait a minute.
She's the off-stage. She is the audience, the live studio audience.
She's the audio track in the background. She won't come up and show her Fantasticas, although I think they're awesome. And every time I've seen them on, especially on Instagram, I've said a positive thing about it because I just want her to have more likes than Bill. So,
let's see. I leave social for 8 hours, and now I'm seeing Cristatus mentioned in multiple. Yeah, well, they had a shipment come in, and there is a built-up demand, at least in a small enough area. But it sounds like this guy's going to be selling all of his Cristatus before they hit the shore. So that's a good sign. We'll see if he can get the Serratus sold. And if anybody is interested in Serratus, it's the peacock chameleon. It's a very cool little guy. It's just very little, not very well known at all. And the Rampholian spectrum is kind of like a Brachysia.
Tom, it's all like the same space. I think you're hearing it from the same people.
Yes.
I think I'm connected with all the groups that are talking about it right now. But it's a good thing. I have one Cristatus. I have a male Cristatus that I hatched from an egg that Bill actually sent me. So, but that was really cool. And we don't like eggs, and we don't want to do that kind of stuff. And getting a panther egg is not the right thing to do. But this is between Bill and I, and he sent me some stuff to hatch. So
the whole thing, the problem with eggs is when they're given to somebody who is starting with chameleons with the idea that this is cheaper and easier. That's the wrong person to start with an egg. People who are experienced hatching eggs, it's perfect. Experienced chameleon people, send your eggs back and forth. Yes, that's a great
cheaper, no easier, not easier, a lot harder, a lot more dedication. But yes, there you go. Okay. All right, let's see. He's here.
FOMO. There's a lot of FOMO going on. Fear of missing out. Yeah, well, okay. Everybody, remember the biggest problem with chameleons is there's too many of them. If there were only 5 species of chameleons, all 5 would be established in captivity. But since there are tens, I mean, there's a couple hundred species, but we have available many species. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, hush up. We're just talking about Fantasticus.
Oh, there we go.
Wait.
That's awesome. It's fantastic. I know why they're calling it Fantasticus.
Wait, help me out here.
There we go. It's on my keyboard. It's on my keyboard.
This is a captive bred.
Let it poop on Bill's keyboard. That's good.
This is the craziest show. I don't know.
I get the shows mixed up sometimes. So it's like, didn't I go on Sean's show and show them? I also don't want to hijack it.
That's fine. We really weren't going anywhere.
Well, we'll put a background.
We hijacked it ourselves, I think.
If I put a background, maybe it'll focus on the...
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Doggone it.
Yeah, it's mirrored. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of hard to...
Actually, I wish there was a better way to hey, see my face? Hi. Wait. Here, let's put Bill's face in front of it.
There we go.
That's what we need to do.
That's
so
better.
Cool.
Oh, no.
I'm so used to handling them. This is gold dust, by the way.
Oh, yes. Okay. Am I done?
Yeah. See,
All
now
right.
I just hijacked
some of them. Now that I lost 8 geckos today, did you hear that? I had 8 geckos that I don't have anymore. So
yeah, I'll send some over.
Send some over.
What are those? Those eat bugs, though, right? They're not.
Yeah, 2-week-old crickets.
Right? What? Crickets.
2-week-old crickets.
Okay. Cold crickets? Like
2-week-old crickets.
Okay.
Chris is asking, what's FOMO? FOMO, fear of missing out, and that is what you feel when there's an opportunity and you're not jumping at it. But yes, this is the big trap of chameleon keepers, is because they are, all the different species are so wonderful, but we spread ourselves so thin that we never get anywhere with any species. And so if you keep a focus, for those of you who are interested in shamrock chameleons, keep that focus. They're incredible chameleons, amazing, and just keep that focus. You will get an amazing chameleon project. Just don't get 3 others along the way, or else, you just don't you're not effective with any of them. And believe me, this is the hardest thing possible for me. Yeah, because, I know all the different species. I know what a serratus is. We're on to you, Bill. You had me going through withdrawals with Parsons on the last lap. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make it worse if I can. What is serratus? Turtodorol Tom, Trioceras serratus is a small chameleon from Cameroon. It's called the peacock chameleon because it's this very cool green, but its head has all of these incredible colors. And it is a very little known chameleon that almost never comes in because it's not well known, and so it's not profitable for it to come in. It's a fun fact that species serratus is not allowed into Europe. The European government has said no, we don't think it's right. The conservative conservation says nope, we're not going to let that in. So the United States is the only place that, or well, I guess other places, but we would have access to one thing that Europeans don't. And so it's just, the thing is, the reason why I talking about this, all of these being so rare, is because they're just not profitable to bring in. So people won't do it. It's legal, but they won't do it. But also, I don't want everybody to all of a sudden go, oh, okay, now I need one. I need one. They are incredible species, but like Cristatus, you hardly see them. They're deep forest. They want to stay hidden. They're shy. They're incredible. I mean, sexually dimorphic. They're the males are chestnut brown with a sail fin. Females are bright green with a sail fin. But
Cristatus is also a very hiding chameleon.
Yes,
the couple that I've had hid all the time. I mean, the one I have now is I can never find it. I have to look deep into the thing, and he never comes up. He's sitting in the bottom of the cage, not in the bottom of the cage, but near the bottom. So,
I've got one in that cage behind me, and I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her all day. I didn't see her yesterday either. Now I have to look for her, and she's always hiding. So.
Isn't it as always in the same spot, or not really anymore? No.
She goes.
I find that most of my chameleons seem to hide in the same spot.
Well, okay. This is a naturalistic, almost bioactive cage, so there's so many different places to be. But if I had one of my more simplistic cages where there's only like a couple of hiding places, then they pick a favorite one.
All right. So, Bill, we've reached 45 minutes. I didn't know how we made it to do it.
A lot of very quality discussion here.
Yes. What quality, I don't know. But proving that we can talk about nothing for 45 minutes.
You've had the
and
best
still
of
keep
times.
people engaged. All right, we'll have to come up with a better topic next week, I guess. I'll have to go to another show. It's been a little while since I went on vacation and my daughter's graduated. But congrats to my daughter who graduated from Golden Wallace this week. She just on Saturday graduated. She was magna cum laude there. So that was really good. So that was something I went to instead of a reptile show, which was definitely worth it. I don't know how much it was worth it because of how much I spent on her college, but a lot more than any reptile show. But all right. So any other thoughts? Any final thoughts, Bill?
Other than, like the owl thing bothers me, but, I'm good with it.
All right. Good with getting an owl or not an owl or you just
but there's no owl. I mean, there's got to be something that fills that niche.
Okay.
And like a shrike or
owls can fly. They can probably get to Madagascar at some point or something. I don't know how far.
Well, maybe they did, and they only go after warm-blooded. Maybe they haven't figured out how to see cold-blooded chameleons. I mean,
all right.
I'm pretty sure there's owls.
We got to see. James is saying that what makes our show so fun.
Two Turtle Tom says, Bill, that's trapped with many turtle people too. Yeah, I bet.
Bill, I think you got something to
leave the owls alone.
All right.
I like Mikey Ben's comment. Felt like a Seinfeld episode, a show about nothing but fun as heck. So I'm glad you all enjoyed.
All right, we'll put that up as well because you won't see these later.
Yeah,
but
Sean
on YouTube. What?
Actually had a topic, and he tried really hard to bring it up, but I think
you deflected it every time. Every time I try to turn back to the main topic, you deflected. It's really good, though.
With passion.
Secret alliance with owls, or what's going on? What is she talking about? She's talking about the Illuminati. I know about them. I watch them. There's something going on there, but all right. So the conclusion is the perfect pet is the one that you'll actually pay attention to for the longest time, and that you're capable of taking care of well, and that you know what to do with if it lives longer than you, I guess. So there we go. That's my answer. Chameleons and owls. Oh, there's some kind of connection between those. I don't know what exactly she's getting at there, but all right. Chameleons and owls. Maybe that's they're just being cold-blooded. That's how they escape owls. I don't know. That would be good. As long as you don't warm them up. But all right, everyone. Have a good evening.
Wait.
What?
Talk about the owls, the chameleons. The chameleons don't have the owls don't eat the chameleons or something in the water.
Well, yes.
That's what I was referring to.
Yes. Well, I brought that up on this show, and it disturbed people to think that I was manifesting owls.
Yes. And then I went and said, what about there's no elephants on Madagascar? Are you going to manifest them next? And I don't know.
What, do they eat chameleons?
What?
They don't eat chameleons.
Elephants.
Sean, what are you talking about?
There's a vacuum. There's no elephants on Madagascar.
What would they do? There has to be some reason, some niche for them to fill.
They're not going to eat the underbrush?
I don't know. Trees, I don't know enough about elephants.
Elephants are awesome, Bill. Don't mess with my elephants. There's 2 minutes going on.
Two Turtle Tom, do we know who is importing these Cristatus and Serratus? We know who it is. The name of the...
It was in the chat, wasn't it? At some point, I'm looking for it here.
I think so. But I don't know who. I don't know the people who are doing it.
Oh, where was this messaged? Oh.
Hey, Nate, do you have
who they are?
Yeah, who they are. Let me see if I can. I can. Give me a second. I can put a link in the.
The elephant chameleon is possibly the what you call it? The one with the ears that flaps over. That
Well, back in I think the '60s, they called the Miller's chameleon the elephant.
that would be
Elephant
kind of neat. Yeah, we go. Yeah, that would be good.
blooded shop. Okay, there we go. Give me a second. Let's see. Give me. Okay, almost there. Blooded.
I'm gonna do a little dance here, Bill. We'll put the sounds on again. You keep going.
I got it. I got it. Oh.
Now I'm gonna have people confused because it's almost the hour and they're gonna think it's no longer daylight savings time. We're starting again.
Okay, so go on Instagram and find these guys. It won't let me put the link on for some reason.
Cold-blooded shop. All right.
Yeah, just find that on
Instagram. All right.
I don't know if they have. I don't know anything about these. I've never heard of these people before. So I don't know if I know who they are, and I just don't know they're connected. I've never heard of Cold-Blooded Shop. It looks like they do a lot of different things. And it looks like they bring in Madagascar. They certainly have Madagascar chameleons there. I wonder if they're on Morph Market. I seem to remember those pictures. So anyway, I'll leave it up to you. I'll check the company, make sure it's a good company. But it's not like we have cristatus coming in all day, every day.
All right, Bill, can we wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's been a great show. We created something out of nothing because Bill was deflecting my topic. But anyways, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.
Bye.